Sports Matters team in association with Wrestle Slam, the podcast. And yeah, it's rare I get starstruck. I have to say that. But the man next to me right now is an icon worldwide. He's making noise every day, every second, every minute. The hometown man is with us. How are you, sir? How's things?
Things are great, Jerry. Hey, you don't need to be starstruck. I mean, I'm just a hometown man. I'm every man, and I'm just like you, Jerry. We're both professional wrestling fans, of course, and I love that you are taking the time to talk to me today. I'm happy to be here on your show, give you some of my time, and to talk a little wrestling, something that we both love, and definitely talk a little TNA, the best wrestling in the world.
Definitely. No, it is an honor. And yet again, look, I've always been a massive fan of TNA, but since you've come into the spotlight, since you've made that debut, ratings have gone up. We're seeing a lot more trend. It's a really good time for you right now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good time for me, and let me just say, like, I'm just happy to be on. Let's just say we're riding a wave, and I'm happy that I have a board on that wave on the TNA team because we have just been riding this wave of success and popularity and growth, and like we're just the metrics are just up in everything, and it's a really awesome time to be on the team. And the fact that I am on that board, just grooving, through the ocean on the team, looking to my right, and I got Mike Santana holding the championship belt. I look to my left, I got Leon Slater holding the championship belt, and I just see this team of people all riding this wave. I mean, dude, it is a great time to be a member of TNA Wrestling and a really good time to be a TNA Wrestling fan. It's very, very exciting.
Definitely. And look, we mentioned that wave. That wave is getting bigger and
Mm,
bigger. I can only imagine what's around the corner. We could talk comic books, we could talk movies, we could
mm.
talk. We're going to talk titles. Titles is something that the fans would perhaps like to see around your waist. But it's a really crazy, crazy couple of weeks. And I love the look. I love the mask. You know what I mean? A bit of a luchador kind of vibe. But let's talk about that mask. Beautiful colors. Is it true that your son was involved?
Absolutely, that is true, and thank you for bringing that up. My son will be very happy to know that we're telling some more folks around the world that he designed this mask. Here, I actually have it right here. I keep it right by my desk. He designed it. Here's the original sketch that my son made. He made a purple one. I do have a purple version of this. This is just the red version I'm wearing right now. So it's pretty cool that my son designed my mask, and he did such an amazing job. It's cool that it is now a piece of merchandise for your video watchers. If your audio listeners need to watch the video of this, I got my TNAmerch.com hometown man debut T-shirt right behind me in the background. You can pick that up now, and my family is very important to me. My son is amazing artist. He's just an amazing young man, and I get to bring a piece of my family into the ring with me every single time I get into the ring, and that's really why it's so special. So he thinks it's pretty cool. I mean that his mask is seen by millions, literally around the world. But it's important to me that I get to bring a little piece of my family with me to the ring every single time. So that's pretty cool, man. So thanks for asking that.
No, pleasure. And look, what a role model for your son and for the kids today. Obviously, leading by example.
Mm.
Really cool guy. That obviously means a lot to you. That look, your fan base is growing by the second, and we're seeing something really, really magical on our screens right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I mean, one thing I've actually been doing, I'll give a little cheap plug to my social media, both to my X account and my Instagram at the hometown man. Uh, a lot of the jerseys that I wear to the ring, from my hometown man, I mean, they are not just sports icons, but they're good people. So there's been a number of jerseys that I've worn where I've done a social media post explaining why this person isn't just a hometown hero because of something they might have done on the athletic field or on a rink or on a court, something that they've done behind the scenes that shows that they're a good person. Because to me, it's just as important, representing TNA wrestling, not just in the ring, but also behind the scenes, and doing things like this, having conversations with folks, fellow wrestling fans that love it. I mean, to me, that's just as important as a legacy to leave in this business isn't just kind of how you conduct yourself in front of the camera, it's how you conduct yourself behind the camera. So one thing I've tried to do with a lot of the hometown heroes that I've represented wearing down to the ring with a jersey is why they're a really good man, not just a really good athlete.
No, I love it. TNA, we mentioned, the biggest organization in world wrestling right now. It's gone from strength to strength. Rumors around the corner, more TV deals are incoming. Your cause is going to help all that, by the way. But it's a great place to be, great environment, great roster. You love being there. And look, obviously, it's what a place to work.
Dude, like I said, I mean, it's not just a good place to work because of this wave that we're talking about in terms of riding this wave of popularity. I mean, that's obviously great. You want more eyeballs to be on you at all times when you're a performer, but really the amount of work that's gone into making TNA a success, it's not, it takes a village, as they say. We are not running on all cylinders right now because of one person or just a few people or just kind of riding the coattails of anyone in TNA wrestling. That's never been the case for TNA wrestling. They've never been just riding the coattails of one or two people. It's always been a team effort. And to me, I love seeing that the whole family, the whole team gets to celebrate the successes of TNA wrestling. So that's one of the things that excites me the most is just seeing the hard work is paying off. You mean you're talking about trying to be a good role model to kids? I mean, that's one thing I always try to tell kids. I go, look, hard work pays off. So no matter what your dream is, put in the work and you can make it happen. It's really cool that TNA is literally living that out day to day, television show to television show, live event to live event, PLE to PLE. Hard work pays off, and we're seeing that with record-breaking attendances and, chatter about TV deals. Man, all this work is paying off and is going to pay off, and it's really, really cool to see.
It is. And look, recently we had the iconic Bound for Glory. Let's do a little recap on that. It was big. It was a big, big deal. Yet again, more records broken. But obviously, Bound for Glory, it's something special, isn't it?
Oh man, I mean, the thing about Bound for Glory for me was, I mean, getting to be in the gauntlet was amazing. And here's a little, I'll give you a little kind of insider thing in terms of, being a wrestler. When I was in the ring for Bound for Glory, here's what I noticed. I'm all about using my ears. When you're a performer, you want to, when you get a pop, you don't want to step on the pop. So you let that breathe and you let that pop continue. If they're cheering, you let that cheer just continue. And Bound for Glory, I noticed something. The pop that everyone was getting was like 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 seconds longer than it's ever been. And for myself in the ring, the pop, I could have just stood there and basked in the glory that everyone is bound for at BFG because the pops were just sustaining themselves and they weren't ending. There was like an endless buzz that it was like the timing actually of everything changed of how you perform because the reactions were so loud. That was really cool. That was as an insider thing. It's like, okay, this is actually changing the cadence of how this is going to happen because the pops are so loud and so long. So that's one thing. And then the second thing that was cool is after I was done doing my duties in the ring, I got to just sit back and watch as a fan. I mean, one final table. It was literally like I was watching history and I got to be a wrestling fan again. And just like the fans, I get to literally witness history. It's not every day that you get to say, oh, I got to watch a really cool wrestling show. You get to say, I just literally watched wrestling history, something that no one else can say except for the people that were in that arena and that record-breaking attendance. And I was one of those people that was part of that and got to witness that. That was very, very special.
It was. And we mentioned yet again TNA and that incredible debut. Obviously, getting to work with the Hardy Boys, being a
Yeah.
wrestling fan, being a guy that knows the game so well. What a way to start your TNA career, obviously with a great team that night.
Mhm.
What was it like? What was it like in that moment? Obviously, look, the entrance. The entrance, by the way, is incredible. We love it. It's a song. It's going to be. I think it's going to be equal with Joe Hendry. This song is going to be a song that we're going to remember for 40, 50 years. It could even go to the charts. But listen, what a time that was, and what an entrance, what a debut. That was obviously incredible and a great way to start.
Yeah, well, let me say two things are coming to mind. Number one, thank you for putting over the song. You are not the first person that has told me that the earworm of the Hometown Man song is gonna out surpass Joe Hendry. I'll give you two little tidbits. One, after my debut, I got a big hug from Joe Hendry, and he said into my ear during that hug, he said, "I think someone's coming to take my spot." And he recognized it as well. He put over the song, and as someone who's obviously very musically talented, like a Joe Hendry, the fact that he was putting over the song, that was pretty cool. Another thing that was said to me after was from Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy came up to me, and I kind of told him how I admitted to him that I was a little bit nervous on whether or not my reaction was going to get a positive one, because when you debut a new character in that spot where there's a black figure on the poster, then the fans' expectations always rise, and they're thinking, oh, it's going to be a debut, or not a debut. It's going to be like a returning legend, or it's going to be a new signing of somebody from another company, and like the expectations just really grow. So I was a little bit worried and trepidatious, and Matt Hardy said, "Hey, man, we're in the business of making stars, and we just made a star tonight, and you deserve it. You did a hell of a job." And that meant a lot, not just coming from someone I respect immensely, but someone who understands the wrestling business on a level that many people will never understand. Matt Hardy has been there and done it. And for him to say those words to me, it meant a lot. And I'm never going to forget that. And I take great honor in getting to debut the way that I did. And I think all of the success that I'm seeing right now and the reactions that I'm getting from the fans are not just because of something that I'm doing. It takes a family, it takes a village, like I said earlier. And Matt Hart is one of those people that kind of helped me get started on the right track. And I owe him a lot for that.
That's a beautiful insight. We appreciate that. It's yet again, look, we know the world is your oyster. There's so much
Mm.
to look forward to. I'm looking forward to what's ahead in the coming months and years, but it's going to give it's going to get a lot of people thinking. You know, we mentioned Joe Hendry there, and the fact, look what he's gone on to do. Obviously, a Royal Rumble appearance. Is that
Hmm.
something? Is that something that would appeal to you? Because look, the fans are getting behind it. I could see this being out of hand in a couple of more weeks. Is the Royal Rumble something that you'd be up for in 2026?
You know what? I in my travels on the road, I get asked this all the time, right? Because we're at this exciting time where we have this partnership with the WWE and NXT, and we're seeing this crossover. And it's like this time when I remember when I was a wrestling fan as a younger man watching the Monday Night Wars, and you had these kind of dream matches and dream scenarios of people showing up on another show, but it was a dream, but it was not going to actually come true because the guys were under contract and it wasn't going to happen. But now there's actually on paper an agreement between these two companies where it is possible, and we're seeing these things that we never thought were possible happen. So I have fans asking me like, are you going to show up? Is there a chance that we could see you show up? And all I can say to them is, never say never. And for me, being someone that grew up a huge WWF fan, and it was something that I aspired to do ever since the age of 5. So to be able to get into a WWE ring wearing a mask that my son designed, I would say that that would be pretty cool, man. And if that happens, that's just another sign to folks that, hey, hard work pays off. So could it happen? Absolutely, it could. Do I
It,
want to happen? Absolutely, I do. Here's hoping.
I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen. And look, I suppose the last question quickly for me, obviously, Luke, there's a lot coming up. El Paso, Texas, Florida. Is titles on your mind? Everyone that's, we dare to dream big. And to dream big in TNA, we're talking world heavyweight champion. You know what I mean? There's the X Division championship, tag team championship. Is that something you're going to focus on moving forward? Because look, you have the ability, you have the fan base, you have everything going for you. Is this something that we could potentially see happening in the next couple of months?
Look, man, I mean, we don't get into the wrestling business. At least I didn't get into it because I had a small dream. I got into it because it was something I was passionate about and I loved. And all the people that I looked up to at one time or another in their career held a championship belt. And for me, as a young little hometown boy, watching somebody holding a title up over their head, I was like, that's what I want to do when I grow up, and that's what I want to be. So, of course, that is always the goal, is you want to hold a championship. And not just because, hey, I want to hold a shiny gold thing like the guys did when I was a kid, but because if you hold one of those championship titles, you are a representative of TNA. And I love TNA and I love representing TNA every single moment of every day. So if I have the opportunity to represent TNA wrestling as a champion, I will take that with such honor and pride. So absolutely, the goal is always to have gold, not just because you want to be a champion, but for me, it's because I want to represent TNA wrestling.
I love it. It's something that no doubt we will see on TNA Plus in a couple of years, heavyweight championship around your waist. But listen, the hometown man, we appreciate your time as always. We know you've got a busy, busy schedule, but greetings from Ireland. You've got a massive fan base, and we're looking forward to what's ahead for you, my man. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me. I hope to be in Ireland very soon. I know that there's huge, immense fans in Ireland and all over the world. I'm hoping that TNA Wrestling is going to be traveling more and more, doing some international things. Hopefully, we'll see ourselves in Ireland at some point. But I'm very much looking forward to Orlando, Florida, one of the original hometown mans of TNA Wrestling, going back to Orlando, and then heading to El Paso. Home is where the heart is, and my heart's with TNA fans. So, Jerry, thanks so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.